have a guest today.
We have a guest today. Yes, we do.
She is Miss Grand California.
So, for Miss Grand fans, welcome to our Road to Miss Grand USA 2025 live interview. And we have been interview so many state title holders.
Yes.
Well, we want to appreciate their time to, let us to interview them and for Grand fans to know more about them. And yes, today we have a chance to interview Miss Grand
California 2025.
Yes, Paloma Pacheco. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Well, let's get to know more about her.
Hi! Wow! Hello, Paloma!
Hello, so nice to meet you girls in person. I've been seeing some little snippets of the other girls' interviews and I'm like, oh, my turn.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
That was going to be my next statement. Thank you girls for what you girls are doing. You are giving us pageant girls a space to prep, a space to gather our thoughts for our big interview day. So thank you so much for what you're doing, taking the time to do this, and we know that how big of a fan base the Grand family has.
Okay, that's so great. It's just the best way that we could connect you with your pageantry fans. This is the best way, and I think it's important for them to know more about all of you.
Yes, I think that point was so important. It's more to see more through than just the physical beauty, but to be able to see what's within the contestants is something that's truly beautiful.
Okay, all right. We have question about you, and also we have question about pageantry.
Of course, yes.
Ready? Let's go.
You introduce yourself and what do you do now?
So, my name is Paloma Pacheco. I am 23 years old. I am a the firstborn daughter in a first-generation immigrant household. So, I was born in Mexico and I came to the United States at a very young age. So, and being the firstborn, and now I am just dedicating to be a full-time model, content creator, and pageant queen.
Okay. From your information that I could find out, you are pursuing bachelor degree.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us what major?
Yes, so it's at Fresno State University, and the major is business administration, optioning in real estate and demand economics, and a certificate in data analytics.
Wow. I mean, it's such a personality.
Yeah.
Love it. I feel such a good vibe here. I was almost getting a little nervous beforehand, but it was like, oh, all smiles, yay.
Don't worry. We'll make it fun and relax.
Relax. Yeah. It's easy question.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I checked your Instagram.
Yes.
On your post. To be honest, your personality and appearance are very attractive.
Yes, thank you.
However, one thing that surprised us,
Yes.
both of us, the most is your advocacy about education reform, ELSA.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about this and what draws you into ELSA?
Yes, so I grew up in a very small town, a very secluded little farm town, and being a first daughter born, and it's kind of the best way I can describe it is having two worlds. It's the Mexican side, we're raised in Mexican values and almost as if it was there, but I'm living in the United States and things are a little bit different and standards are different and things are different. So growing up, I had a major figure in my life that was emotionally abusive, had narcissistic traits. And so growing up, I had a certain look point on life. Mm-hmm. And so again, this is where the small town plays in, that's it's small and everybody kind of thinks the same. And so there's not a lot of exposure of outside influences. So it wasn't until I moved to college and I began to work on my body physically, and I then began to see some problems that I had with me. And I could not like figure out why things were happening a certain way, or why I was feeling I couldn't manage things and I was acting out in a way that was not authentic to my own self. Mm-hmm. So then what I came down to was all that the childhood trauma and the childhood events that took place had molded me into a person that I wasn't meant to be. And so the more that I dug into it and more that I got to the core of it, I realized, oh, like hurt people. And so as the more that I began to learn how emotional intelligence plays a role in an upbringing, especially as a child, and I began to realize that, so because that allowed me to have a new viewpoint on life, almost like a new life. Like I began seeing the world from a healthier standpoint, a place where the sense of self was so much more secure. I felt reborn. I felt like I was living a dream life, and all that had changed was just certain mental viewpoints. Everything was the same. It was just I have a new look in life, and that was something so amazing. And the thing that inspired me the most to make this was that, so the moment that I started to heal, I had introduced that to the person, and I began to realize that the things were, let me go a little bit back. So I had brought it up to the person, and the person's way of reacting was different than mine. And so by understanding why that person did the things that they did, because it came from it's kind of like a cycle repeating. Mm-hmm. And so as I try to bring that up to attention, that person's view on it was not the same as mine. And so I'm like, oh, like, okay. And then so the more that I kept seeing that relationship dynamic, the more it interested me to keep understanding and just try to understand the person. And then I began to make bigger connections onto other people and why they're also the way that they are, and how society plays a role, how just from my own personal and from what I see. And I began to realize that, we're human beings who feel. Like our bodies are made to have all the senses, to see, to touch, to smell, to taste. And that is to bring an experience, and that is to have an emotion. And even our brains are meant to their emotion based. Mm-hmm. And it's just how we process those emotions and how we allow those emotions to take control in our life, and how we're responsible for how they manifest out into the outside world. And so the more that I began learning more emotional intelligence, mm-hmm. I began to see that, if I had known more of those regulation tools, more of those, because I wasn't getting that type of emotional like care at where where I grew up. So I know what it feels like for a human to grow up not having that prioritized versus now a woman who has grown and knows what that feels like. So by saying that, I was like, if somebody could sit down and tell the elementary me, the middle school me, tell me certain things that I needed to hear, I know that I would have saved some time of just having difficulties with me. And the more that I began to see, I'm like, this is serious. Like we are, and so when I say like hurt people, those people were also hurt, and it wasn't their fault either that stuff has happened to them. And it's just most of the time they develop these not good defense mechanisms that at the end of the day they're just made to protect the person. And it's just when they're not put into checks and balances, that's when things can go wrong. And there's different people deal with bad things. I'm sure we've all had that, people in our lives that because of their emotions have taken over and it spills on us, and we want nothing to do with that. But yeah, so I set out, I'm like, if only emotional intelligence was something so core, if we had the tools, the resources to be put into, for me it was school, because for me everything was happening in home life. And so and again, I was in a small town, so there's not really much outside. I wasn't really, exposed to like a lot of friendships and things like that. So for me, my second place was at school, and it was almost like I was put into the test. Like whatever was going on at home, it was at school that I could see my like even grades on how everything was like fluctuating, and it was because my internal sense of self and the inside of me, my soul, was just so chaotic, and it was so all the place because it was in survival stress. It was focused on trying to have that emotional connection, and especially like with women too, by society too, we're told to be a certain way, act a certain way in order for partners to like us, for people to like us, to all those things. And so that's why for me it's so much personal to be put in schools, because it's almost as if I am going back to that child me, and I'm giving these tools to her, for her to to her to at least know what boundaries are, to know when stuff is toxic, to know what's correct and what wasn't, to know more. And so that's why I was like, you know what, if I'm going to make it my life's purpose, my whole life, this is something like that I'm going to dedicate into trying to put this out there, to try and have a curriculum, to put it into law, starting it out in a couple of schools. Like, this is something that I want to grow throughout my lifetime, and something that it would be literally my biggest dream to have that path. I mean, obviously everywhere, but starting doing stuff in the immediate schools, maybe even my childhood where I grew up is where I really want to accomplish, especially in the short time frame. But yeah, another point that I was also going to say was that how society and how people are, they are a certain way because of things that have happened to them throughout their life. And so the way a person experiences things is the way that they then deflect it, and it's the way they process it a certain way, and then they go out. And if they don't have the tools to know how to do that, it's very primal. The emotions take over. There's no, it controls a person. And so I'm like, how much better of a world would this be if people had these tools from such a young age? And so if they wouldn't turn into, if we stop the child from reenacting certain behaviors that later in their life was going to cause them relationships, was going to cause them just such a lifetime of just not having fun here. Just no. So, and by that, I mean, all of this knowledge and education, I will say, literally got me a new life. Like, had I continued to act the way that I was programmed to, I would have had such an unhappy life. Like, I would literally not be here speaking to you girls, because I would not have the discipline, the self-worth to even be a pageantry. Like, none of that. So yeah, so I'm like, imagine how many lives we can save. And also another thing too, that when something is so off that a person can't pinpoint it down to certain things that cause them in order to heal that, people start turning to other things for instant gratification. For example, there's drugs, there's promiscuity, there's just all these down paths that just lead into such negative lifestyles. And that's something that I want to prevent too. Like, I want to make it to where kids don't have to go that route, because they were already secure and they were happy with themselves, and they did not need that artificial dopamine to keep them going, because that's not sustainable. And so yeah, so that's a little bit behind ELSA, the story behind it. But ELSA stands for Emotional Literacy in Schools Act. And so my core of it is that I want to make it just as important as math, reading, English is, like, and I think it's so essential because it's who we are. It's like us as a human species, how we operate. We know how other animals operate and what causes them, but we need to look inside and really know us. And so I'm a huge advocate for knowledge and reading, because that's what saved me, like the knowledge. And so and again, like I wasn't getting this at home, so the only other place that has access to all these kids and are there put out with social settings, and they could actually practice these out there. And there's just so many routes and ways that can go about it. So that's a little bit about Elsa.
Okay. I just have a question for you. So back then, during the time that you facing the difficulty, how could you turn it around? Like to overcome those feelings, the difficulty that you faced when you were young.
Yes, the number one thing that I would tell
anyone to help you, or you just do it by yourself?
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Do you have anyone who help you out, or you just figure things out by yourself?
Yes. So to start the first part of the question, I would go back and tell myself, you are enough. You are. And another thing I would tell myself is that you are your own unique soul, and there's nobody like you on this earth. Nobody has gone through the experiences that you have, and embrace them. And that's something that I would just, because that's something that I struggled with. I struggled with external validation because I didn't have a sense. I wasn't, I was made to be like I wasn't good enough for things. Yeah. And so, no, I didn't have another person to fall back on. I had very superficial friendships. That was one thing that I wasn't allowed really to have friendships. So that was something that kind of impacted me. So I couldn't really formulate a deep emotional connection with another person. So I didn't know, like my brain it didn't have that neuroplasticity. It didn't have those connections on what an emotional connection at that level would look like. So, I didn't, unfortunately, but that's why I'm here, wanting to be that person for all those kids who think that they have nobody to turn to, no tools, no nothing. Something I really want to make normalized, especially in society.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much emotional to listen to you, Paloma. But I think like your life experience will shape you who you are today. You have strength you learn from your experience, and yes.
Yes, I know it's a deep subject too, because I think this is one thing that every person can on some level. I don't say all relate, because not everybody goes through emotional abuse, but I feel as humans we learn, so we always receive things and we always feel certain types of ways. So that's something that affects everybody.
Okay, that's true. All right, then next question. From your opinion, why Elsa is important at school?
Why is it at school?
Why it's important?
Yes, so it's important, especially for me at schools, because like everything that was going on was at home. So if everything was going on at home, and the place that I was supposed to be raised on that subject, it wasn't there. And the only other place I was learning from was school. And so, and I feel like as a structure, it is it's where all the kids are. They're in learning years, so their brains they have so much neuroplasticity going on from all the learning. And it's social. There's other kids there that they can work on this on, away from their parents or away from home life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so and also because it's a place, it is, so emotional intelligence is, there's a lot of like knowing and reading and learning just as another subject in school would. And also because there's so many benefits to it as well, such as when kids feel better, they do better. So not only are they doing better in school because they're not having to they're instead of their mind being so occupied on why do I feel like this, how do I feel good in order to do things. And so, a little side note, I'm also neurodivergent. I have ADHD, so that combined with that, and combined with I have like high functioning ADHD, so it more so impairs on my ability to like organize, to get things done, and for people, and just to let people know about ADHD more, it also is heavily influenced by emotional states. So the more emotionally distressed a person is that has ADHD, the worse the symptoms show up. So, I mean, now add that all into the mix, and that's not a good mix. So, at school, this is also a prime place where all the kids are working, and they're putting these skills into actions. They're doing homeworks, and so in order to do all those things, especially for neurodivergent kids of all states, the emotional state, if their emotional state is better and more regulated, they're only just they're going to execute better. So that's also why. One more thing, and so the way, like I stated earlier, when a person doesn't have a good regulated inner sense of self, or they don't regulate their emotions good, we have a lot of outbursts, or we have just very primal reactions. We're not, because when a person is in that state, we're not thinking rationally. We're not thinking with the prefrontal cortex of the brain. We're not thinking about that higher brain. So in the brain, we have 3 sections. And so from the nervous system, the emotion starts to kick in, and the bottom, it needs to escalate higher into the brain, to that frontal big brain part of the brain that does all the rational thinking and things. But if the emotion doesn't know what to do, it just gets stuck there. It gets stuck in the reaction mode, and that's where we have emotions that hurt, or the emotions that are just not adequate. So that's how we have so many troubled children, or troubled teens that are we call it when they're like can't think of the word right now, but yeah, so basically like they're causing problems, they're reacting, parents don't know what's going on, like teachers don't know what's going on, they're just out going wild. But at the bottom of it, at most cases, these are kids who they don't know, they're trying to find an escape, and they're trying to find that missing link to them, and their emotions, because they're so clustered, they spiral, they go out, they don't know what to do. So I think that also having emotionally literacy in schools will decrease behavioral problems, and that could bring other benefits in lowering costs of having detentions, having more security and things. If the people are happier, they're more apt to learn, they have less stress on them, they know how to regulate, they're going to be more prone to getting work done, to having better relationships with their peers at school, where yes, but that's why I think that it's very important in the schools to have them.
Yes, I agree. Like I believe, like during our youth or teenager period of time, we probably have struggling somehow, somewhere, sometimes, right?
Yes. Have you ever had an experience to utilize ELSA?
I'm sorry. A moment to utilize it?
Yeah, the experience.
Yes. So this is also something that is it's very new. Not the idea, but the structured, having it into a bill that I want to pass, like having it into an organization, and all that, like having the nitty gritty of it done. That is something that I actually have finished. Not even like, it's probably been like 2 months. So it's something that has been birthed relatively new. So I still have so much work to get done. But I will say that upon my release and my release to the public of the project that I'm working on, I have had immense support from the community. I have had it's so interesting how things just align sometimes, and you meet some people and they just happen to just, to be there for you. And for example, I have a client that I used to do nails. I used to be a manicurist, and one of my clients is actually in the school system, in more of the what do you call it, the directional, like the directional part of education. Mm-hmm. And she reaches out to me and she's like, oh my gosh, like that's something that I'm also very passionate about. And she has worked in districts where I work, and she's now working in LA district. And so something about our district here of the schools is that those two are the biggest ones in California, the biggest school systems, and the ones with more funding and just the more supported ones. And so, and her offering to help me throughout this journey, I feel like is going to expedite my process so much more. And from there on, I'm just going to keep like I said, this is my life's purpose. Like I'm just so excited to see where this is going to take, where else is going to go. But yes, I have not put it into school acting just yet.
Okay, so you're on progress, but I feel like you have the door open for you.
Yes,
that sounds great, Paloma. Well, I hope it turned out great as you want to.
Yes.
If you could tell yourself when you were young, what do you want to tell her?
Apart from telling her that she was enough, like I said the last time, I would tell her that it was okay to not think the same. For example, like I stated about my neurodivergency. So one of the things, how I can explain it, is that as me, it's like if I was working against a different system of rules that weren't meant for me or for my brain. So I would tell myself that it's okay to go away from those rules, and it's okay to do things that suit you the best, methods of organization that suit you the best, things instead of having to confine into a certain world, which is the world we live in, which is just not suited for the way that I function. That it's okay to do things your way. Like if it works for you, it works for you, and you're getting it done, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I would tell myself that it's okay to be different.
Yeah, okay, that's so true. I think about myself back then too, and you're right. You're right. Yes, it's okay. It's okay, and you are enough. But I kind of understand what do you mean back then. Like if you don't have anyone or someone who guideline us, then we were struggling during that time back then. But the other side, you strength, like you become stronger.
Yes, and like it wasn't like, for example, like it wasn't until I took that advice that I would tell my little self of doing things the way that suit you the best is when I finally began to just find myself, be authentic to myself. I started to create things. I started to do things that I would have never thought I would have accomplished. And so by doing that, I unlocked again. I'm like I said, I feel like I'm living a new life. I'm living a life that is me, that is for me.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. You were turned into the best version of you because you reborn, like as you said.
Yes.
Which I'm so glad to hear that. This is like empowered.
Yes, women empowerment. Yes.
Yeah. We need a cave.
Yes.
I would like to ask about Lompoc.
Lompoc, yes.
Yeah, Lompoc town.
Yes.
Santa Barbara.
Yes, in the Santa Barbara County, yes.
Okay. So how is important to you?
Yes, Lompoc is a place that is so dear to me. Like I stated before, it's a smaller farm town, and to put it into a little bit of perspective, so the population as of right now is about 45,000. But let me tell you something, that it is divided into two. So there's like the main little city, the main little town, and then there's also like a military Air Force base, there's a prison, and so there's outskirts of it. And so the way that I would consider the Lompoc that I grew in, I grew up in the smaller one, the one where the people were more confined. I mean, not confined, but they were more in the main part of the city. So that's where all the stuff happened. So it's and another thing, like compared to where I live now, I live in Fresno, which is it's about 3.5 hours away, but there are about 440,000. So from going from a place that was 40, I'd say it's more like 30, 25 of where I was at. Going from a place like that to somewhere that has, I think it's like 14 times more people is like, whoa. But yeah, it's a very culturally diverse place. Something I really loved about it was how there was so many other Mexican families that got along. Like it was such a strong Hispanic community there, and so I really got to grow up in my roots. I got to grow up experiencing traditional parties. I got to other people from different parts of Mexico. It was very interesting to grow up there, to grow up in that truly Mexican environment. And yeah, and it's a very agricultural, diverse place too. There's a lot of farming. It's called the City of Arts and Flowers. It has a very good little community. Yes, but it's small. We have in the main town. We have one high school. There was one Walmart, like one major grocery store. There wasn't like a lot of like fast food options. Like it's like a very, and it's also like very like community driven, as in there's like local businesses there. I love the farmers market, and the water, the beach. It's a coastal town, so the beach was like a 15-minute drive. I mean, it was cold, but it was, at least you got some beach. And the surrounding areas, the good thing about it being a small town too is that there are other little towns around. So as I got a little older, I began to like go around the towns, and it's a very interesting place. Yes.
So it's your hometown.
Yes, my hometown.
A little town. That house is important for Paloma. Now I got it.
Yes, it was where everything started. And it was also, I mean, like I said, since it was so small, there was nobody doing anything like I'm doing right now. There was nobody that, like, I'm like a little girl who's just like dreaming and all these things, and growing up there, and like everything. So everybody,
what did I say? Laid back, right? Can I say laid back?
Yes,
life.
Yes. Yes.
It's nice. It's nice, but
yes. But for somebody like me,
who like you, who has like purpose or goal in life, then you're gonna go to somewhere that will be like keep you going.
Yes. I just needed to expand to. I mean, I love for what it did, but for me, like in how I am as a person, I needed more exposure, and it's just because I'm a person who I love life. I love everything it has to offer, and so I understand that there's some people that type of lifestyle is for them, but for me, I want it all. I want to know. I want to live out, and so moving out to a county where it's so much bigger, there's so many more things to go do. There's just so much, and it's a different area, so I can travel to the nearby areas of that place. So there's also just the endless open doors of opportunity. Just more people comes with more people to mingle and talk and find people alike. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I'm just a lover of life, so I just needed to expand more.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you. Really, thumbs up for that.
Some way she's happy person.
Yes. She's happy and ready. So you are also a founder of Dove Arcana. What's the purpose of Dove Arcana?
Yes, so Dove Arcana is my overall brand, and what I mean by that is, so how that came about was 2 years ago was really when everything started, because it was the moment that I had signed up for a pageant. But because I was still in an older identity, I went into it for external validation. I went into it for almost the wrong reasons, for the glitz and the glamour, like that. I'm like, get me in the door and let me have some photo shoots, like that type, like for those reasons. Mm-hmm. And I quickly realized that wasn't the route to go. But anyways, so so in the process of doing that, I began to, for again, external reasons, to want to lose weight, and I wanted to look better for the camera. And so that began a journey. That moment was when a journey of self-transformation happened, where I began to lose weight, and I began to just, it was more than just the weight. I started to feel better. Not only did I look better, my face should change. Like it's like I was transforming into something else that I loved so much. And the number one thing that I did was to cut out like processed foods, like it was like a lot of like artificial things. And my reason was to like have less calories. But the more that I saw what was happening to me, I was like, oh, what's going, like what was I doing that made me look the way that I did? So then I started to get fascinated with nutrition, and because let me say that I had trials and tribulations where I was, I was losing weight, but I wasn't getting the proper nutrition. So I was losing a lot of muscle mass. And the way that I looked before, I had a lot of muscle mass, but I also had a lot more extra fat. But I was like nicely curvy, when you're like you get that like nice little plump everywhere. Like I was like that. So I mean, I liked it. I thought at that time that was me, and I loved it. But I was like, what caused me to look that way? And for me, especially, was my face. Like if I show you a picture of my face, would it look different? It would be like if I got all these surgeries or stuff. But really, all I did was to cut out foods and things that were that were raising my cortisol, that were giving me that were just inflaming me, it was like hiding my facial structure. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's free plastic surgery right there. Yeah. So my skin started to clear up as well. I used to have pretty bad acne as well. Like I had so much texture, and so clear skin, a new face shape, like that's the deal of the century for me. So then I started to see more, to go more into the nutritional facts of stuff, and how stuff is good for you, how certain foods are good for your body, how they're good for your hair, they're good for your skin. Like I started to get so fascinated with that because I started getting changes, and I started seeing those. So then I started doing the same thing I did with Elsa. I started thinking like, what if everyone knew? What if everyone really like had the information and knew about these things that they're ingesting, and how they cause things in people, whether it be issues like I said, like acne, just inflamed face, or just health issues and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, if that knowledge was more widespread, that would be something that would also be so beneficial to people. It would automatically boost their senses of self, feeling. And it's like the best type of confidence that a person can have is the type that is earned through goals that a person does on their own self. And as I like to think it, like what better type of growth if that it comes from you. Like if you're growing your own self, that's like the best thing you can do. Like it's your life and your body and yourself. Like you just have a better time overall. And so 𝗘𝗣 Arcana is a wellness platform. Again, it started a little bit before the Elsa, but it's a wellness platform that will be a space for giving out this information, giving out having more information, more data, more science, backed up science facts and things as to what's bad, what are you ingesting, how it affects you. Mm-hmm. And so going back to my point about what I did with Elsa is that I began to see that how production and the cost of things and how stuff is structured a way for people to pick up those, like say like junk foods or like stuff, fast food, like and I wanna continue by saying that I still love my little cheat meal. Like I love my my little muffins and my little McDonald's and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Yes, we do love it too.
Yes, like I'm not gonna lie, I had a little muffin and some goodies today, but you know it's in moderation. But I began to see like why certain behaviors were impulsing people to go that route, and that's because you know it's cheaper, it tastes good, and for a person that's like you know on the go and things like these are just things that just work better in the moment. And they're also priced a lot cheaper than having to have. Also, I consider like the term like time is money kind of thing. So the time that it takes to cook a meal and have it good and like know all those things versus when a person has a more busier lifestyle and they make those choices to buy things that are not so good for their bodies. But most of the time, people don't even know. Like, and I'm saying this from perspective of me too. Like, I didn't know that I thought I was so fooled by the labels and by the color boxes and stuff, and from whatever like I had heard outside that I thought that I was eating that there was nothing wrong with my eating, and so it wasn't until you know that change that I started to fast and to not eat those things that like I saw that change. But yeah, so I began to see how it was influenced, like, and how like even the concept of fast food, like it's fast. So yeah, so that's like a platform of where it's like just more information on there.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, it's a good way, and you know, I think most important thing is our health, right?
You said it perfectly. Absolutely. Like we're what we have. You know, if we don't take care of our body, like how can we live the fullest to our life?
True. Yeah, that's so true. Okay, and we would like to know, what do you do in your free time?
Oh, a little fun fact about me, I am such a nerd. Like, I love, yes, I know.
You're a nerd?
I have my books over here.
Oh.
But
You surprise us.
I'm like a box of
I mean, because look at you, like you're pretty, you're attractive, and you're like so many things. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so good.
But that's good to know, Paloma. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So I love to read. Like I love to read about. That book was about emotional intelligence. I have just a very hunger for knowledge. Like I like to know what impulses, and I think because that comes from my childhood, from not knowing why people were the way they were, why they were treating me a certain way, why like I couldn't fit in, why things. And so all those questions that I had younger, I feel like now I keep learning, and it keeps fascinating me, and it keeps making me want to know more and do something about it. So the more that I feed myself this knowledge, the more that I can speak to others about it, and I can implement this into my purpose. And yeah, I like to read about emotional intelligence, metaphysics, quantum physics. I like a lot of human behavior, especially number one, psychology. And yeah, so and artificial intelligence is something that fascinates me as well.
Wow. Oh God, that's amazing. I mean, I feel like you're really into all those psychology, emotional intelligence.
Yes.
That is just your experience, right? The experience that you have, and then you're gonna crack the code. Like, okay, I'll figure it out. So
Yes.
this is good.
Yes.
To hear that.
I also But I also love to like paint, or actually really like to clean, because cleaning was something that I struggled with a lot as a child because of my ADHD. Like it was so much, and like I was like like I don't know, like that cleaning became almost like something that I didn't want to do. Like it was because of like I couldn't enjoy it. So now I like to clean. I like to clean. And I also like to, as you can tell, I like to model. I like to get pretty. I like to play dress up. Like I like to take pictures, like the glitz and the glam. So that's a little bit a mix of everything. And the most obvious, like, because of the pictures and stuff, that's like what I can portray on my social medias. So yeah, it's like I wish. I mean, on my stories, I put a lot about like me reading, but as like the general thing, it's like ooh,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It turned out opposite. Like, yeah. As I mean, and that makes people or us want to know more about you because, like I said, because what we see, you cannot judge the book from the surface. You have to read it, and then you know, like, who she is. That's pretty good.
You were invited to feature on the business journal. How could you connect with them, and how was the experience?
yes. So on as that was right around the time that I was making, like, I was putting it out there about my Elsa project. I had reached out to my city, to my hometown, and they had put it on there. I had a conversation with the journalist or thing about it, and yeah, so that was something that was put out there because, you know, my hometown, like, there's nobody really that's doing the type of stuff that I'm doing, and so from then on, I also put it just lined up so well that they had the President of Business Journal had a section for people on the move, and so what I like fit in so perfectly, and so that was another step into getting it out there. And by having these credentials, I hope to keep getting more credibility and just more awareness to it, so I can then pick it up to higher, just almost like have something tangible that people can look back onto and be like, oh, this, like, almost like track record receipts, like, this is how it started, this is how it's going, and things. And like I said, it's gonna be my life's purpose, so I'm planning that's gonna be everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it was very cool because it was also the first time that it was put out in my current city that I live in. So, and that's the city that I also want to do the most change in, because with it being a bigger city, there's also, just as the small town had its little quirks and things, the big ones do too. And so that's also, like, it was very good to be recognized in this city.
I feel like you could be like a role model, maybe for youth, you know, teenager, or whoever looking for a purpose in life. So we have you from a small town, and right now you're Miss Grand California.
Yes.
Which is
Oh,
great.
I that's very humbling to hear. Like, the little me who went through all this is like, what do you mean we get to be this person for other people? But yeah, that's ultimately what brings me the most satisfaction, that internal validation of not just touching on it, but like actually making a change and making an impact in somebody that can, I mean, from young, like, that's why I'm so fierce about the young and the children, because these are the same people that are going to grow up and be parents. They're going to be bosses. They're going to be grown-ups. And so if we can change their lives, or not allow them to go into a bad direction, but all from an internal and emotional loving sense, then, you know, it's like saving them from a life of just sadness and just unhappiness. So yeah, that's something that's so amazing.
Yes, that's good. It's kind of self power.
Yeah. It's like indirect, slow, like, it's like it creeps in, but it does major change. Yeah.
That's so true.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yes, like,
Yeah. She has a long story. Yes, I know. I have so much to say. A lot of things, and we were surprised. Anything that, you know, we
I'm still surprised she says, I'm a nerd.
Oh yeah. Loud and proud.
And look at her. No.
I should be put the face of a nerd, huh? Like, oh,
I don't believe you.
and then I whip out the book.
That's right. And you love to reading books. You like to clean. I mean, it's opposite.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
I love that so much.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We will move forward to three questions.
Okay.
So, how do you become Miss Grand California? Is it your first time is in pageantry?
So actually, like I mentioned a little bit before, my journey on everything started 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago. Maybe not quite there, but that was the moment. It's so interesting because pageantry was the moment that like made me wake up. But I had signed up for the pageant, and it was for Miss California Latina. And for things that happen, I like to think of it as like the timing was not meant for, but that pageant had to get canceled due to licensing and something like that. So I was already starting to get ready for the pageant, and then they're like, we're not doing pageant. So then I had I had that basically that year off, and I was working on my physical and learning. That was when Dev's Arcana was born, around that time period where I was losing weight and started to learn about nutrition and things. But I signed up to do Nuestra Belleza USA. I was Nuestra Belleza California, and that took place February of this year. So that was my first pageant that I was ever in. And so from there, I did not place, but I learned so much about pageantry, but about being actually doing it and not just from a back stand. And so Miss Grand California is my second pageant that I'm doing, and this time I'm so much more prepared. As you can tell, like I have a lot to say about my story. I've been preparing a lot more. One thing that was different is that there's something that I'm working on is to not have control of everything. And so that means asking for help when it comes to things about communication, catwalk, photo shoots, not doing it all myself. And so I can be more focused on things. And so, and actually have to have professional help as well to like improve on my skills and everything. So that's the difference that I've been doing in Miss Grand California. But yeah, it's going to be the second time to go on stage.
Yeah. So yeah, good to hear that you not be by yourself, because somebody can help you with the thing that you need to improve yourself.
Yes.
So yes, and okay. So what inspired you to join the Miss Grand pageant system?
So the number one thing, as all Grand family knows, is that the Grand system is known for their very sexy, very glamorous, like especially the swimsuit. But out of all the pageant systems, it's the most like the women are just so allowed to be so creative and so sensual and so just themselves, like the woman embodiment on the stage. And for me, I know that for other girls it's a little different, but for me, that's where I shine my most. Where I'm just allowed to be myself on stage. Like I'm somebody that loves the camera, and I love, like we talked about the modeling and things. So that part of it it's my favorite. So what better system to go to than the grand system? That's all about it.
Okay. Well, who knows, when you're on stage, you might be to pick for the best swimsuit.
Oh, yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
She's ready now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You wish. Yeah. You get the sign.
The next question is, what do you want to tell people who misunderstand about pageantry?
I would tell them that the number one thing is that it is it's very mental. It's a very mental event, as in there's so much stuff that has to be worked on inside of a person in order to execute properly outside. So much, it's discipline, it's preparation, it's all these skills that have to be improved that people don't see. Like, for example, like the nerd part, like you can't see it. And so people are like, they see like the glitz and the glamour, but they don't see like all the preparation and the mental work that goes behind it. And so these are women who they're simply on a different level. Like these are women who are actively implying those skills. And yeah, so that's something I would tell people about pageantry.
So it's not only from the appearance that you see like all these girls are beautiful, but it's more inside. Like
Exactly.
you are intelligent, you have to work on things to become the title stakeholder. It's not that easy.
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility as well. Like to have to carry this title, you're a representation of it. So it's you're showcasing what it is to be part of the Graham system. What a Miss Grand contestant looks like. Yes.
What do you balance modeling, wellness, and your pageant commitment?
How do I balance it?
Yeah, how do you balance it?
I balance it by prioritizing whatever it is that I feel like I am lacking in or I'm just not as confident in. Because the moment that I don't feel confident in an area is where I tend to, let those emotions come through and I start to get dysregulated. So by prioritizing the areas that will build up my confidence, overall, it's just going to be a better. It's going to allow me to execute better on that stage.
Okay. In order to become Miss Grand USA, you must have 4 B's:
Yes.
mind, body, beauty, and business.
Yes.
Which one is your strength and why?
Brain. Brain is my favorite.
Yeah, the book I saw. Yeah, that has to be
Makes sense, right? Yes. I like to think of it as like the best machine on this life, like on this planet. It's what creates everything. Like everything comes from a brain. Like we make everything. So, and it's where emotions are processed and executed. So the way that a person acts is the way that their brain is. So if we can focus on the brain, improve it, and all that, it would just it's the best B that there is.
Okay, that's a good question. Good answer. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and how do you define true beauty?
I define that's a very good one because even myself, I've been thinking about what true beauty means to me. But I think true beauty is something that is radiating from inside. That is something authentic. It's a state of mind. It's bliss. It's the highest, the best ever. And to be able to see beauty, not just in a person, but in life and plants and animals and things, and just seeing that core essence of life is just so beautiful.
I love she said a state of mind. Can I borrow that sentence?
You can take it, yeah.
This year, Miss Grand International Organization announced that contestant age range will be 18 to 35 years old. What are pros and cons in your opinion?
Yes, so I think my personal opinion is I think that is something amazing that they did because number one, it breaks away from a standard of women having a prime or only being beautiful for a certain amount of years. So extending that allows for more women to to women who have probably felt like, oh, I'm too old for that, or I'm not. No, like this is your moment as well. So that's something I really love about it. Another thing is that the older a woman is, the more wise she gets, the more life experience she has, and the more she has to offer. And also as learning about families and relationships, especially with like mother-daughters, I can also see how the older women who have more kids or who have raised kids, who have been through that very tough assignment. Those are also women who they need to mature in order to take care of somebody else. So I think that just allows for more mature women or more women who have more life experience or more to offer to the international exam system. So I think that was really amazing. A con, I think the only thing I would put it is that pageants being something that's because pageants, you can't be married, you can't have kids, you can't have, it's a very particular type of woman. who is into the system. And so, like, just as much as it breaks away from those standards, but it also, it breaks away from this event being for these types of women. And so it's like, it's almost like it takes almost away from the specialty of it, from being special for that. But I see it as a good thing. So that's what I would say about them.
Thank you. How have you been preparing yourself, and do you have anything that you're concerned about?
My main concern is that I ordered an interview outfit and it's not coming, so I have to look for another thing. So that's like concerning me, and it's next week. But so that's been on my brain. But other than that, how I've been preparing have been, like I said, about working on those areas that do not give me all the confidence. So working in those areas to just be more prepared, and to be prepared will lead to more confidence and to doing better over there. So I'm just for me, it's personally working on my on like some like twists and turns, but also on my communication and how it is that I want to deliver certain points. Because as you can tell, I have so much to say. So I have to focus on delivering certain things, especially in interview, because I only have a very short amount of time to tell them all of this. So yeah, so that's something I'm preparing for.
Okay, good luck with that. I mean, it seems like you are preparing yourself so well and ready to join the competition. Right now, we're just gonna switch our mode a little bit. We have some fun games to play.
I love it.
Right? Alright,
Just relax. Okay. So I have a question, and you can pick one.
Yeah.
So I will ask you. So the first one is heel or flat?
Heels. I love heels. The higher, the better.
well, I thought you were gonna say flat because you said I'm a nerd. Well, I was wrong. Sorry.
You have to see surprising. You have to see her picture on IG. So
the high heel.
it's all very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like a modeling. Yeah.
Yes. That's why I said, when you said I'm a nerd, like,
It's almost like everything it's like so opposite. Yeah.
it is totally. All right. Beach day or mountain hike?
Oh, mountain hike.
But you live in California.
I know, but I think it's like I grew up where there was like some water, and so it was kind of like it was like right there. So now where I live, I actually live right by a national park, and that is one of like the top places that.
Which one is that? Which national park?
It's called Yosemite National Park.
Oh, I've never been there. I would love to go there too.
Yes, you need to. It's so amazing. It's the feeling of nature. It's like you belong there. It's like it's so beautiful. So many waterfalls. So many. It's so beautiful, and it's relative close to where I live. So that, as well as there's some like nice little hiking spots. I love nature, so it's so fun.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I mean, when you're in nature, I feel like you recharge your battery and get back to normal life.
Yes, well, there's so much science about how nature like gives off electrical like vibrations that stabilize a person's own electromagnetic field, and that's like there's just so many benefits. That's like, because I think so, because like we are like, that's kind of like where we come from. We're at the end of the day, we're humans. We're like, I don't want to say animals, but we're also, we're a species on this land.
Species, that's true.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Dream vacation destination.
Oh, I want to go to Monaco.
Monaco? Oh, why? Why Monaco?
I don't know. I love the aesthetic of like very classy. Like I love like very bougie. Like very. Yes, it's a place that's like it's. I don't know. It's very intriguing. It's very calling.
Okay, cool. One thing you can't live without.
Oh, I can't live without sunglasses.
Okay.
And I can't live without a chapstick or a lip gloss. Hydrated lips.
You have to choose one.
Oh, okay.
Crowns or sash?
Oh, that was not it.
Crown or
A
sash?
crown. I'd say a crown.
Crown.
Just because the sash, I feel like sometimes it's like it can like get messed up or look weird, and it or like it hides you. Like so, like one time, like I looked at a picture of myself, and it looked like I was like more like boxy than I was, but it wasn't. It was just that the sash was like hiding my waist, and so I was like, like I swear I look better under there. So, and the reason I was gonna say, the reason I was gonna go against crown was because they're kind of heavy, and like to move around and twirl and stuff, like it's always like it's like you carry something precious. But I'd rather have that than not look my best, I guess.
Okay, well, Miss Grand USA 2025 crown. There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The next one, I'm gonna say this word, and can you answer in your own way? Okay, you ready? Confident is.
Confidence is somebody who has accomplished what they set out to do. And that way they building blocks of confidence within themselves to be able to know, like, I can get this done, I can get anything I want done. I'm the person who gets things done, and yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Like you.
Oh, yes. All right. Now we come to the last question. This one from the judge. No, from us. From us, okay? There is a question in this beautiful 4 colors, so you pick the color that you like the most.
Let's go with yellow.
Yellow. Okay. There's your question. You have 30 seconds to answer.
Okay, let's go.
I'm kidding.
I was already. I'm like, okay, I got this.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Okay. Do life needs to have a purpose, or can you just live purposeless?
This is the perfect question for me. I say that living with a purpose will save you. And let me explain. Living with a purpose, it gives you something to chase for the greater good. Meaning that instead of going and getting external validation and just things that don't serve you, by having a purpose and putting all your energy into it, and it's almost like a clear directional path on where a person goes, on what they're meant to do. It fills in so many gaps of uncertainty, of self-doubt, of not knowing what to do. So I'd say that living, and I know this from personal experience as somebody who has lived without a purpose and not really knowing where to fit in or what ways, that there's just waste so much mentally. So by living with a purpose, it's almost like a big breath of air. It's like, I know what I came to do, I know what to do, and I feel like the more you feed, and this goes with anything, the more you feed into it and the more you grow it and nurture it, the better that you take initiative, and more, that's where confidence comes in, because you know that you can grow this. And so I just think it's all around just very good.
Okay.
There you go.
So, man, I think it's more like you are focusing on yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And that drives you every day. Like, I wake up today, what am I going to do?
Exactly. Yes. And it's not like waking up and being like, oh, like not, and feeling just something like feeling like you're not productive or you're not part of something. I think having a purpose just connects you with something so much bigger than yourself. That it's like, and for me personally, like with emotional learning, that's something that there's no cap on it. Like if I run out of school to do it here, I'm gonna go other countries. I'm gonna go, the more that I could put this out there. So this is like, it's never gonna be ending. It's never gonna be enough. It's something that could just be more and more integrated into society.
Yeah, before we say goodbye, do you want to say anything to the team, the family, and the friends who will always support you?
Oh, I would say that I would say just a big thank you and a big, just very grateful. And it's because of those people, it's because of them that like I know that I'm doing something that's inspiring. I know that I'm being a role model. I know that those comments, they almost fuel me to keep going and to know that there's people who are actually acknowledging this, that I am seen and I am heard. And there's people who are, they're putting their also like their energy into like into me as well, and that is something so precious.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
And for anyone who wants to follow you on social media, please tell them like how can they connect with you.
Yes, so they can. My main social media that I use is Instagram, and it is Paloma_Pacheco, and then 2 underscores. So Paloma_Pacheco__. And I love TikTok. As you can see, I do a bunch of little random videos. But that one is Palomitas, and I think it's with 2 Z's at the end. And in Spanish, palomita means like popcorn, so I thought that was funny. And my dad, that's what my dad like nicknames me also. So
That's
so
cute.
that's a cute little palomita.
All right, Paloma, thank you so much for spending time with us. We enjoy talk with you today, and I wish you the best. We wish you the best at the competition. Just be there, have fun.
Yes, that's what the most I want.
Yeah. Yes, I bet it's gonna be fun this year because I think right now probably 30 or 31 contestants.
Yeah, they've also from what I'm seeing on their production end, it's gonna be such a cool, well put together event, like something. And also, what Graham's known for putting on a show. So I really think that Miss Grand USA is fulfilling that for sure. And I also think that the class this year is so competitive. Like there are so many inspiring women in this pageant that it's very honorable to be in a space with these women.
Yes.
Just more growth. Mm-hmm.
Yes. We can make it there. However, we will following the news and following the competition, and on the preliminary and final day we will recap. Well, but good luck. Do your best. Have fun. Enjoy it.
We can't wait for you.
Yeah.
We can't wait for when you on the stage.
Yeah. We'll see. Yes, and trust me, the judge, they will be surprised. That, I said contrast, like what?
They'll have like what moment?
Yeah.
That's so true. Okay, good luck. We hope to interview you again next time, or if we could meet, I don't know, we can. Maybe she could become Miss Grand USA 2025. We'll see.
Yes, and if anything else, like we'll just keep this connection. I love the way we vibe and we talk. I think what you girls are doing is so amazing, allowing people like me, especially who I haven't been in the game for so long. This is the first year I've done actual pageants. So by giving me a space to be able to talk about it and just get it more out there is truly amazing.
Thank you. Good luck. We'll see you next time, Paloma. Bye.